that's really pleasant to live in and really, makes people happy to be there, than have a whole bunch of communities and they're all very stressful and difficult and, like that. I've already been through that. I don't want to go through that again. So let's avoid that. Do we have any questions, Uruva? What's that? Give him the mic.
Question from Mother Swati. Please accept my humble obeisances, Babaji. In the model where the core monastery is in the middle and other devotees come later individually, what is expected of them in terms of varṇāśrama, management, etc.?
Oh boy, that's a huge question. Well, in any Vedic society, the Brahmanas and the sannyasis, the renounced order of life, are the core. You can't have Vedic culture without good Brahminical culture. So our little school, where I'm training up these devotees to be nice Brahmanas, that has to be the core. That has to be the kernel or the seed of the community. And then the family people and the other people who are involved in different things like administration, trade, economic development, family life, and business and so on, they have to be around it, if you have a seed, it always has a shell around it to protect it. The germ is in the middle. That's the actual living part. But you can't just take the germ out of the seed and expect it to sprout. The seed has to have all of its components together. So you have the seed, you have the nourishment around it, the germ, and the nourishment around it, and then the shell to protect it. You see, so our community is like a seed, and the Brahmanas are the core. But it's not going to work without the other people. So how exactly, and what are all the details of how that's going to work out? Well, these are some of the things I want to discuss in New Jersey. Because I can't just dictate. It wouldn't be fair. It probably wouldn't work either. We're herding cats here, right? And the best way to herd cats is to get them to want to do what you want them to do, right? It's really the only way to herd cats. If they think it's their own idea. So we have to get your ideas, and we have to reach a consensus that will work for everybody. That's why I only invited a certain group of people to discuss these things, and because I don't want to open the discussion to people who are not going to be affected by it. It's really none of their business. But if you're going to come to the Janmāṣṭamī festival, and if you're later on planning to come to India, and you can be there and you can actually participate in the discussion, then you need to be a part of this discussion group. So let me know. I don't think I missed anybody, except it wasn't clear. It's still not clear if Mother Melissa is going to come. And somebody else. Who's it? Oh, Peter. I think Peter's going to make it, though. He's going to make it somehow or other. So anyway, I thought I had invited everybody else to join this group on the India Land Trust thing. Basically, my idea is, okay, we have already received a certain amount of donations. And like I said, this is not a good time to buy land. So we have enough assets to go to India and rent a place and live for a year, let's say, and still have enough left over to buy land. And we can afford to wait, and I think we should wait until land prices come down to a reasonable level. everyone is expecting a correction in land prices next year. I think that's quite reasonable, and that's what's going to happen. So what I'd like to do is to go to India, rent a house for a year or so in a nice location like Kotagiri or someplace like that up in the hills, and look around. Start finding out where the good places are, where we would want to be. And then when the prices come down to a reasonable level, we'll go ahead and buy some land. Or maybe we get some donated. I don't know. You know, who knows what Krishna's got up his sleeve. But we're going to take our liquid assets and put them into gold because everybody seems to think there's going to be a currency crash. And I agree, you know, it looks to me like that's what's happening. So we want to get out of any kind of paper assets, except maybe just enough cash, you know, to live on for a while, and put the rest of our assets in gold and ride out the devaluation. So since we're going to do this strategy, we also want to offer that we're going to have to manage all this anyway. So we also want to offer to our community members the chance to do the same thing. You know, we're going to be going to India, we're going to be buying gold, we're going to be arranging secure storage for it, and so on and so on. So we're offering the chance to our community members who are planning to come to India to do the same thing. That means after a year or so, your money will, the value of your assets will multiply by, I would say, of some factor between 2 and 5 times the purchasing power of land that they currently have. So this is our idea for land trust. And then the idea is the monks will have their piece of land where they do, you know, monk-type things. And then the families will have their own pieces of land nearby or next door or something like that. And that they will buy this land from the proceeds of the land trust investment. And we need to work out all the details of how that's going to work. You know, that we can start talking about those details online. I don't want to dictate how this is going to work. I want everybody to be happy enough with how we set it up and how we write the bylaws so that they feel comfortable about getting involved. Not that I want to handle or determine all the details myself. We should talk it over and get everyone's best idea and then see what the consensus is. And we can't do that. We can do the preparatory work online. We can put the results of our research and our different opinions online. But then when we actually physically meet together, we can come to some conclusion, some consensus. So that's my idea. Any more questions? Any more discussion about this?
Yes. Ronald started with a question. Please accept my humble obeisances, Babaji. How's the varṇāśrama system in India where you're visiting? Are they doing good? And then Prasad commented, Ronald, actually in Tamil Nadu, the political party in rule has the ideology of Dravidian movement. They don't like Brahmanas very much. And then there was a exchange. Indira said, you're right in a way, Prasad. Most of it's political propaganda. Most of it's political propaganda. But the number of temples are increasing by the day. Like that.
Okay. Well, political propaganda aside, you know, that what they're trying to do is create a feeling or mood of nationalism to South India, you know, like a state nationalism. In India, you have all these different states, and some of them, like Punjab state, they're Punjabis, and they have the Punjab religion and Punjab style of dressing and Punjab style of cursing, driving taxi. But you know, and then in Amritsar they have the Sikh style, and then you know you go up in Rajasthan, it's a different style, and in Gujarat a different style, Bengal. All these places have their own culture and their own style. Well, in Tamil Nadu, there's certainly you know, a Dravidian culture and like that. But there's also a lot of centers of Vaishnava culture. You know, it's a very local thing. It's like microcultures all over India. You know, and you go from one village to another, and they're all different. So when you go to a certain village that's like a Vaishnava village, that's run by a